After helping hundreds of families move to the Tampa Bay area, I decided it's about time I asked them if they had any regrets, if it was the biggest mistake or the best decision ever. And so I decided to grab a couple of families from a client appreciation we just had to ask them about their experience. What some of them shared, it truly surprised me, and I want to share that with you in a minute. But before we hear from them, take a second and hit that subscribe button, because your support helps me create even more videos just like this one for you. Stay tuned. Relocating to a new city, it's a big decision, and there is no sugarcoating it. It doesn't always pan out for people. Sometimes the excitement of what originally attracted you to the new city wears off, and sometimes it exceeds all your expectations. If you ask 100 people what they think about living in Tampa, Florida after moving here, you're gonna get a mixed bag of answers, and I got just that. Let's take a look at what the first couple had to say. All right, so you guys moved here how long ago?
About a year and a half already.
All right, so you've settled in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where did you come from?
So we originally came from the DC area, more specifically Maryland. Yeah.
And then what suburb or what area did you settle into when you moved here?
Into Wesley Chapel.
All right, perfect. So
Epperson.
Epperson.
Yeah, Epperson
specifically.
community. Yeah.
They like the big lagoon. So we
Yeah,
got the lagoon
absolutely.
community, Epperson. Now talk to me about, was it a great decision? You've been here 18 months or so now. Great decision or worst decision ever?
1, 2, 3. Great decision ever. We usually finish each other's sentences. It was a great decision, absolutely.
Now, a lot of people talk about affordability, crime, traffic, all the new things that are coming up, inflation. Mm-hmm. Would you feel, because I'm sure you've experienced a city, we're in the city right now, and actually in Ybor City as we're meeting, right? Mm-hmm. So do you feel like it's heavy crime?
No, at least not where we're originally from, which is Fort Washington, Maryland. Absolutely.
I got a question for you.
I would say you're going to get crime everywhere you go. If you go to LA, there's crime. You go to Florida, there's crime. DC, there's crime. You can't avoid crime.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's average, I guess.
Okay. So, I mean, you can find it if you want to, right?
If you go looking for trouble, you'll find it.
Yeah, but ultimately it's great. So let me ask you something about weather, because Maryland, you have now been through a summer, correct?
Yeah.
And a winter,
Yeah.
if you could call it that.
Yes.
Would you trade out, I don't want to say trade out, but how was your Maryland winter versus your Florida winter experience?
For me, I hate the snow. I never left my house. I paid the kids to shovel my driveway.
I would also shovel. It wasn't just the kids.
Yeah, well, I didn't like it. It was way too cold. It was very uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
And
at
now
all.
you're in your experience of Florida, because you weren't shoveling snow here, right?
Oh, yeah, this is fantastic. There is the cold weather to me now is like 70 degrees. Anything under 80, I'm in a hoodie.
Yes.
I definitely enjoy the winters here because you can still get into like the hoodie season, wear your nice little hoodie kind of thing.
Anything under 70 degrees is hoodie season.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you're not wearing your thick coats anymore kind of thing, right?
So off camera, now that you said it was your best decision, right?
Yeah.
Off camera, you told me that you picked up some new hobbies.
Yeah.
So what are some of those new hobbies, once you've kind of acclimated and adjusted to Florida, that you've picked up that have been kind of your new lifestyle now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I never would have thought I would have picked up scuba diving. So that's one of the big ones. And the other one that I do, pretty much daily, every other day is volleyball, beach volleyball. So that's huge here in Tampa, especially St. Petersburg. So I've been doing that heavily, especially in the Epperson community, because they have a lagoon and they have a beach court there. That I've been able to pick that up. So
Awesome.
What about
Best
you?
decision ever.
Best decision ever.
Absolutely,
Yes.
best decision.
Coming from the DC, Maryland area, I noticed that they chose to move out to the suburbs. That is a trend that you will see from many folks relocating here, especially from major areas like the DMV area. They want access to the city, but they don't care to live in the city. They chose to live in Epperson, and if you haven't seen this community, the lagoon is something like you've never seen. I mean, imagine having that as your community pool. They also mentioned that they never left the house during the winter because they didn't care for the snow. And now they've picked up new hobbies, and there is real excitement there. No question, when you love your neighborhood, you love your city, and you're finding new hobbies that you're passionate about, life is good, and they absolutely are happy with their decision to move to Tampa. But let's take a look at this next one that didn't necessarily have the same experience. All right, so the title of this video is, moving to Tampa, Florida, and it's was it the best decision ever or the biggest mistake? And in your case, it was a little bit different, right? So tell us where you came from and kind of, it was middle of the road for you, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a different case because my family moved from Texas for my wife's job, so it was kind of a forced move. It wasn't, we didn't hate Texas, we love it there. We're born and raised there, so moving for a job is a little different. You have to look for houses from far away. Thankfully, we found you guys on your YouTube channel. So shout out to the YouTube channel here. But we found you looking at different neighborhoods that we were looking at. Said, hey, let's hook up right there. And then your team helped us find different areas. We flew out for a weekend. We set up like 25 different viewings over 2 or 3 days. We went in, worked pretty hard, showing us those homes. So we kind of had a little bit of limited choices to choose from. We had to be a certain distance from a job and that kind of thing. So we kind of narrowed it down to Wesley Chapel and the Riverview area.
Okay.
We really loved Wesley Chapel, but we're more of a new build type of family.
Sure.
There wasn't much available for our timeline, so we kind of landed on Riverview.
Did you have to squeeze it into like a tight timeline?
Yeah, I mean, you're selling in Texas, you got to move out here across country. The company's helping us out move, so that makes it easier, but you still have to.
So you needed something available.
Yeah, we need to be able to move in like at a certain date. No renovations, no wait for the build. It has to be ready to go. Kind of turnkey. So we looked at Wesley Chapel. We saw some neighborhoods we loved there with the mature trees. Nothing fit our timeline, so we did Riverview with the new build. We built with West Bay. We love the builders.
Yeah.
We love our neighbors, but there's a little bit of drawbacks to the area that we didn't foresee when we moved out here.
Yeah, I think off camera, and I try to not sugarcoat it too much, right? Like I don't always want the perfect answers, even though the viewers might think that. But off camera, you kind of told me that you did end up going to Riverview. Specifically, we won't go into the neighborhood, but you chose that because it fit your timeline.
Right.
In retrospect, you probably would have figured out Wesley Chapel was a better fit for you now, right?
Yeah, I think we would have made some sacrifices on the home we were looking for to stay in that area because we like that area a lot more. We find ourselves kind of leaving Riverview to do things on the weekends or at night or events or shopping. So we probably would have stayed up more north if we could do it over and just find something that maybe wasn't a perfect house, but it's the area we liked a little bit more.
Sure. And then you have 2 girls like myself, so we have 2 young ones. Would you say Tampa's family friendly? And if so, what are some of those experiences you've enjoyed?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right off the top of the head, the Gasparilla Kids Parade, you don't have that in Texas, so that was something we got to experience.
Yep.
It was a little bit cold, so like 30, 40 degrees, had the jacket on, but the girls loved it. It was a lot of fun. And then we can take a trip to the beach, hey, Saturday morning, let's go to the beach today. Yeah. It's an hour to get out there. We can pack up, come back, and don't have to have a place to stay. Like normally, we take trips to the beach, you got to fly out, have a place to stay, adds to the cost. So that's definitely a big benefit, having that accessibility.
Yeah, here's a kind of a one-off question. I mean, you when we say Texas, that's a big state, right?
Yeah.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Dallas specific, right?
Yep.
Coming from Dallas, massive city, to Tampa, which is a 17th largest metro kind of thing, right? Everybody talks about inflation. Everybody talks about costs and all this. Is it less or more expensive, would you say, in like the Tampa area versus Dallas?
Actually, I think, doing some research before I moved out here, it's pretty similar on the cost of everything. Obviously, depending on where you live within the cities is a big difference. But, some of the things that I've noticed is that the traffic's a little bit different out here. There's not as much of like main thoroughfares. Like where we live, you got to get to 75 and then you go up north. So getting that is kind of through neighborhoods and some slower streets. So that takes some getting used to versus just hopping on the tollway and the Dallas area. But
Dallas, you kind of hit it and go.
Yeah, there's a main tollway.
We're taking it's a lot of residential, so you're taking back roads and knowing the traffic flow and all that.
But it's nice to be able to get to the airport that quick. What I like about Tampa is it's the big city feel. Downtown. I'm a big sports guy, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So there's baseball here, there's football, spring training, and it's not like hard to get to, right? So you can get to downtown in 30 minutes. The parking's not bad. You can go to the game, and so you have the big city feel, but it's not like the overcrowded and overpopulation where everything down there's people everywhere. So it's a little bit busier, I would say.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that part of it. It's a city, but it's not huge.
Yeah.
Because Dallas is sprawling. It might take you Dallas-Fort Worth over an hour to get across it. Here we get to the beach in an hour, so that part's definitely nice.
So it's like stoplights is the traffic that we're feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And a little bit of that congestion, but in reality, it doesn't take that long to get
Yeah,
around.
no, not especially like, you know, if you're driving later at night. I mean, it's nice. There's hardly anyone on the road.
Nothing.
A late flight comes in, you can get home in maybe 30 minutes instead of.
And
40.
our airport, granted, it's ranked back to back, like #1 in the country, but it's amazing.
No, I believe that because I
It's
do love the
amazing.
airport.
Yes.
It's easy to get in and out of there.
Yep.
So I love flying into TPA because of that. So
Absolutely. All right, thank you, man. So again, here we saw a family move from a big city, being Dallas, and they chose the suburbs. He candidly told me that, for starters, he loved where he lived in Texas, and that he moved here for a job, so while he was happy to move for a promotion, he was leaving a lot behind. He ultimately was happy living in Tampa. However, he did have some regrets. He regretted not vetting out the areas before choosing a home and felt that Wesley Chapel would have fit his family's lifestyle a bit better than the suburb of Riverview. It was a tough decision he made with his back against the wall because time was of the essence. But I have shared in many videos before that back in 2016, I personally lived in Lutz and had the best house in an amazing community and with the best school zones. But it wasn't right for my family because our daily commute kept bringing us back into the city. So we ended up moving 2 short years later. When figuring out where you want to live, it's so important to think about the lifestyle you want and the proximity to things that will be important to you. This is one of the main things that our team focuses on with buyers relocating to Tampa. We help match the best location to your lifestyle before starting the home shopping process. He did wrap things up on a positive note, however, as he found Tampa very family friendly, which is a plus since he has little ones, and he loved the feel of the city with all the activities and events Tampa offers. But I can tell you, no one is more passionate and excited about making the move to Tampa than this next one. All right, so Bill, you and your wife, you moved here a few years back now, right?
Yeah, almost 3 years.
Came from Chicago.
Yep.
Moved the whole family down, son, in-laws, everybody, right?
Yep. Did
So-
a 5-family move with you guys.
Yeah, so you've had a couple winters, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
Right? Couple summers. Summer's usually the big one for coming from Chicago, right? So how have you acclimated to the summer?
You know what? We don't mind the heat down here. It doesn't bother us. I mean, it gets hot in Chicago. It gets humid in Chicago.
Yeah.
Lasts a little longer down here, but we love it. We're not affected at all. In fact, it helps my health a lot, and I'm doing real well in the heat. So yeah, I have no problem.
Yeah, can I ask if there's something with health?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That
it helps.
Yeah, I had a kidney transplant
Okay.
at Tampa General Hospital, and phenomenal hospital, phenomenal healthcare, one of the best in the country with transplants. My son Matt donated,
That's awesome. I
and
remember that story,
and
yeah.
it's an amazing story, and I'm here to say that Tampa has been wonderful for that. It's been great, and I came down here with severe anemia, and when you have anemia, you're cold all the
Okay.
time, cold, like
Yeah.
a popsicle down your spine, cold.
Yeah.
And I could never get warm in Chicago. It didn't matter. When I first moved down here and I got in the house that you got us in, I would sit out in the car in the middle of August in the heat and not turn anything on just to get warm.
Okay.
So I was very grateful for warm weather.
Yeah.
Very
So that's been a good transition for you then.
wonderful.
Now that has things changed after that? Just curious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I'm doing great now. I'm doing getting bike riding every day, getting healthier and better, and working
So you can
hard.
enjoy the outdoors year round.
Year round. I haven't. I can't even remember the last day I didn't bike. I've
Yeah.
been biking every day,
Yeah.
which is phenomenal. You can't do that in Chicago.
No, yeah. I
Can't
just
do
came
that in
from
Chicago.
Dunedin, and there was tons of people bike riding.
Oh,
If you-
yeah.
If you haven't been there, Dunedin's
There's
fantastic.
a great
for that.
bike path through Dunedin.
Yes,
Yeah, I've been
yes.
on it a couple times.
Yeah.
It's really
so,
great.
Summer's coming up.
Yeah.
Are you getting a lot of use out of that pool because you got a pool home?
We do, and yes, absolutely. We've actually got an instructor coming every Thursday now and teaching our grandchildren
Yes.
how to swim.
Yes.
Because we don't want to have any problem.
Super important.
We want
Yep.
them to know how to swim. We lock our doors in the back so that there's no chance that little kids can wander out by the pool.
Right.
But we love it. The pool's great. The golf course is great. It's really great.
All right. So, you came from Chicago, moved to Tampa. This is all about, best decision ever, biggest mistake. If you had to choose one, I think I know which way you're leaning, but
Yeah. Oh, the best decision ever. There's hands down. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
And how long did you live in Chicago prior to this?
57 years.
Right. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like you just had a taste of it. Right?
No.
Yeah.
We came down here a lot for vacation with
Yep.
the kids. We'd be either at the beach or at Disney or doing something. And we always talked to each other and said, maybe we'd like to have maybe a home for winter down here, maybe 4 months a year. And then we just got a taste of being here. I'm like,
Yeah.
we got to be here full time.
Yeah.
Family's not happy that we're down here all the time, but I do travel
Yeah.
up to Chicago every month, so I get to see family.
Yeah.
And it's worked out great. We love it. We love it. There's so much to do in Tampa. We just saw Mrs. Doubtfire the musical
Yeah.
at the Strauss Center. It was
nice,
great.
nice,
It was
yeah.
great. We had a great time. We walked the riverfront to get to the Strauss Center.
Yep. Walkability.
Yeah,
Starting to come
walkability.
little by little.
Oh my gosh! I mean, we're walking at 10:45 at night after the musical let out, and we've walked a mile and a half walk back to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost one of my entire videos is the river walk at night.
It's
And I say
beautiful.
that I go there with my wife all the time. And, you know, it's funny because sometimes I get people leave comments, and, you know, rightfully so, maybe
Yeah.
their experience, and they say, oh, the crime.
Yeah.
I'll-
I haven't seen any.
I could find crime,
Yeah.
but when you're on the river walk at 10:45 at night, probably with your wife,
Right.
didn't feel that, right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. 10:45 at night, we felt totally safe. There were kids still biking because it's so well lit up at night, which
and,
we were
and it
shocked.
wasn't shut down. The city wasn't shut down.
No.
It was still active.
Oh, very active.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you had to pinpoint one experience to share with the folks from your 3 years now, almost 3 years in Tampa or the surrounding areas, what's one good experience that you would say it just really surprised you, or maybe even, you know, just that you've grasped onto that's like, hey, this is one of the biggest reasons why I love living here?
You know, you might laugh at us, but we really started to really enjoy Zoo Tampa.
Yes.
The zoo.
That's funny.
I
yeah.
mean, it's the foliage and the flowers and the trees and the animals, and it's well set up. I mean, we live by Brookfield Zoo up in Chicago, and it's just a bunch of stagnant buildings.
Yep.
Down here, you've got just outdoor, and it's just great.
Yeah.
So the zoo's been really great, and really the stuff going on the riverfront. You know, I have a son that works at the Ulele
Yep.
restaurant,
Yep.
and he does great. And we're just having a great time, just enjoying Tampa. And now
Sure.
we've discovered the Strauss Center, and
A lot of shows.
Oh, a lot of great shows, a
Yeah.
lot of great musicals or plays or something. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, my wife just literally today said they went to the zoo today with my daughter, my 5-year-old, and she goes, you know, the zoo's really coming along. She's like, I wouldn't be surprised in the next year or two that maybe they get an accolade of some kind, because whatever direction they're headed in, they're making some good progress.
It's beautiful.
Right?
We love it. Now we've gone with the grandchildren. It's
Yeah.
been great. We love it. But now just Nancy and
You
I
get
look
the
at
pass?
each other. Yeah, we got the
Yeah.
annual pass. My wife and I look at each other and says, we need to come here just by ourselves. Walk around, enjoy the zoo, enjoy the grounds. Everybody's really nice.
Yep.
You know, it's really nice.
Bill was one of my favorite home buyers to work with. He contacted me a few years back because he wanted to move his entire family down here from Chicago, and by now, you have seen the trend. They also wanted the suburbs. I had spoken to him after his kidney transplant, but never really got an update until now. I love to see that he is healthy and he's doing well. He's constantly on the go, getting outdoors and experiencing all that Tampa Bay has to offer. And this is not the first time we've heard someone mention the health benefits of living in Tampa. I had another couple a while back that relocated from up north tell me that they no longer had to take vitamin D supplements because of all the sun they got here. Another told me that the warm weather most of the year has done wonders on their arthritis. And I had a family that moved here saying their son was thriving because it was such an easy environment to adjust to, and it was simple to meet new friends that were very welcoming. Bill is certainly doing it right, just getting out there and staying active. And I always say, Tampa's a beautiful place to live, and we have amazing communities, but truth be told, it's all about the endless things to do here, and so much so that we look forward to our weekends. Now, coming up next, we're gonna chat with Max, who made his way here from South Florida. And while it's not as big of a move, it certainly was interesting to see how only a few-hour drive can make such a big difference. All right, so we have Max here with us. Max, where did you come from before you moved to Tampa?
We came from Western Florida, South Florida, close to Florida.
Right, close to Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah.
down there in South. And so, what made you choose moving to Tampa? What made you choose Tampa as a destination?
We found that here is cheaper.
Okay.
We found our dream house. You help us with that?
Yeah, we had a house listed.
Yeah.
And beautiful setup.
Yeah.
Nice
perfect.
pool.
Yes.
Really nice landscaping in the backyard.
It
and
has all our things we wanted.
Sure.
It was there.
Absolutely. So, but as a city, what I guess it was more affordable than Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
Would you say maybe slower paced?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit?
And it's quiet. At least the area where we live, We like privacy.
Yeah.
We have a lot of privacy.
Yeah. Now, Florida is very different, right?
Yes.
City to city. If you go to North Florida, you might as well be in Georgia sometimes. Coming from Fort Lauderdale, Miami, there's a lot of culture down there.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're missing some of that culture now that you moved to Tampa, or what do you feel
No,
about
no,
that?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I feel like here is our dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good blend of everybody.
Yes.
Right. So, you're, I have a Hispanic background. You're
Me too.
Colombian,
Uh-huh.
right? So, we just shared off camera that there's a lot of really good Colombian restaurants. So now you get to
Yeah.
experience that, right?
You have to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to go there.
Have you experienced any good food or anything else that since you've been here?
It's been just a few months, like 3 months, but yeah, we found great food from different places.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different cultures, different people, and it's very nice.
Absolutely. So just a nice blend for you.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So the topic on this video, the title of the video is, you moved to Tampa, Florida. Was it the best decision or the biggest mistake?
No, it was the best decision. Yeah.
It's a good decision.
Yeah, that best decision is our. We plan to retire here soon.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Well, welcome and thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much.
I always say there's a lid for every pot, and Tampa won't be the perfect city for everyone, but it does offer a variety of lifestyles to choose from. And with our endless things to do and amazing weather all year round, you truly do get a live, work, play environment. You just have to remember about the work part. If you think Tampa might be the next place for you to call home, reach out to my team because we would love to be your Tampa real estate resource of choice. Visit our channel for more amazing content. Until that next video, I'll catch you later.